Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy. And I thought I would do a rant today that hinges on the latest news about the latest auto da fe of a Tesla. This apparently in Belgium. And this is the second case that I'm aware of in the last month or two of a Tesla going up in flames when it was parked. So the interesting thing to me about this is that most car fires occur following an accident. The vehicle gets struck and that triggers a fire. Now, with Teslas, you got the problem of spontaneous combustion, and I suppose, of course, that can happen with an internal combustion powered car, but it's probably considerably less likely because several things have to happen. With gasoline, you have to have gas vapor, and then you've got to have an ignition source, a spark. So you have to have two things generally before you'll get a gas fire, and it's pretty difficult to get both of those things to happen, actually. Even in a really bad accident, it's hard to cause the tank to actually rupture. Sometimes that does happen. More often there's just a puncture or a break in one of the seams, and sometimes the gas will leak out, but that by itself won't start a fire. You actually then have to add spark to get the fire, and those two things don't happen too often. But with a lithium-ion battery pack, as you've got in a Tesla and a number of other electric cars, all you need is a short circuit internally. And that can actually happen for a variety of reasons, including, as apparently is the case in Belgium, when the fast charger doesn't charge appropriately, or there's a power spike, or some other related thing like that that sets off the chain reaction, and then the fire occurs. You can also get a short circuit and a fire resulting from physical damage to the battery case, as happens in an accident. And you do not need the second source, the spark, to get the fire going. All that's necessary is the structure of the battery is compromised, and there is thermal runaway, which is another way of saying a short, and then the fire happens. A third way, I suspect, which has not happened yet to my knowledge, but I suspect will happen, has to do with wear and tear over time. Things wear out. Battery cases wear out. Mounts wear out. Seams wear out. Welds wear out. Things of that nature. So over time, as the electric car ages, probably there's an increased risk of a fire just from physical deterioration. Electric cars are relatively new, and that includes Teslas. You don't have many 12 or 15-year-old electric cars out there, but if they continue to force feed these things onto the American people, there are going to be a lot of electric cars, and there are going to be a lot of old electric cars out there, though my assumption is that the idea isn't to have a lot of old electric cars for a variety of reasons, including the safety issue, but rather to get people to drive them for a number of years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and then get into a new one, so it'll be like a perpetual lease model. And I think they're going to have to do that, leaving aside the safety thing, simply because electric cars are too expensive. I don't know what kind of crack these people are smoking, but when the least expensive electric car on the market is $30,000, you're talking about doubling the price of a car for the average person, because you can get into any of several economy compact cars for around $15,000–16,000 brand new. And that's half the cost of the least expensive electric car, the Nissan Leaf, which is just a little compact car that happens to be electrically powered. All of the other electric cars on the market are considerably more expensive. The next up is the Chevy Bolt, which is about the same size, and it's $35,000. Then you go to the Tesla 3, and yada yada, and before you know it, you're up to $50,000, $60,000. Most people just cannot afford to spend $50,000, $60,000 or even $30,000 on a car. So the only way this is going to fly is any kind of a mass market deal is to rent them to people, whether by leasing or whether by subscription services or some other thing. And I guess in that case, if they can get them out of circulation quickly enough, you won't have to worry about battery degradation. It's really crazy, you know, just watching this from my armchair. Causes me to just shake my head and boggle my eyes. It's startling to me that this thing is getting any traction at all, given all of the myriad problems with electric cars, both economic as well as functional, as well as safety related. All right, well, that's my rant for today, and I'll close by saying that it's been urged upon me to start putting some of my stuff on other platforms, including BitChute, which I'm going to do. I'm going to try that with this, so you may be watching and listening to this on BitChute. We shall see. I'm also going to put it up in the usual places, but I think it's important, not just for myself, but for any other person in the media who isn't an orthodox shill for the corporate government nexus, who actually might have an opinion that's somewhat heterodox, to start to diversify, because it's clear they're attempting to purge the entire internet of anybody who isn't orthodox in opinion about whatever the issue of the day happens to be. So thanks for viewing. Also, thanks to everybody for supporting the site and also independent media generally. It's much appreciated, and more than that, I think it's absolutely essential if we're going to prevent this country from becoming a shoddy copy of East Germany or the old Soviet Union. So those are my thoughts for this Friday. Thanks again for viewing, and we'll catch up with you again soon.